that's the beginning of being heartfelt, is letting people understand that they are more important than you are. One of my favorite things to do with these wonderful grandchildren that I have, they're 7 and 8 years old, is to go to Toys R Us. Have you ever gone to Toys R Us with kids?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite thing to do with them is to say, okay, you can have $10 each. I want you to go figure out what you want. Chaos, right? And I think of it as exactly what it's like when we do our networking. How many times have you gone to networking and you're like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And you walk away with all these cards and you have no idea who you met or what they do. They do networking after networking after networking. They pay for breakfast, they pay for lunch, they pay for dinner, they pay to join, they pay fee after fee after fee. And then when you sit down to do your taxes, you find out there's no money in that. When I send the kids out to Toys R Us, it's like people networking. I watch them do the same thing. Oh, do I want this toy? Do I want that toy? Let's see how much is it. Does it fit in the $10? Tell me, does it fit? Does it fit? And then what do? They find something that's more than $10 every time. Right? Okay, so this one's $15. No, I told you 10. Well, no, it's only $5 more. That's the 8-year-old. He's already adding up the money in his head. It's only $5 more. Well, I said 10. No, it's only 5. You make a lot of money. You can afford to do this. No, it's only 10. Please. Right? They have the best ability for sales of anybody I've ever known. Now, I promised I'd tell you a little bit about me. You know, I've built 3 businesses and lost all 3 businesses. Why? Because I was married, doggone it. I was married. And every one of them said, I can do it just like you've done it. And they walk away. Last one was my favorite. Found a younger woman and said, I can do it better than you could do it. But nothing ever happened for them. But I'll tell you what, it happened for me is that because I knew how to do sales, and I always did it from the heart, I never was without. But you know, I got 10 good years out of the last one, so that worked out. 5 ways to develop heartfelt relationships. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Number 1, tear up the scripts. If you're trying to do a script and it doesn't feel like you, it's not authentic, is it? Have you ever tried to do a script and then you go, oh man, that's not me. That just doesn't even sound like me. So when somebody's trying to sell you scripts, back away. Forget it. Because I want you to just be who you are. And I'm going to give you an example in just a minute. Because if you learn to do these 5 things, you will be able to sell very easily. Who would like to volunteer in the audience? Come on out. This is step 1 of the 3-step waltz. Hello, my dear.
Hi.
If I was at a networking group, I would say, Lynn, tell me about you.
Well, I'm a health coach and I help people change their lives. Why? Tell me what you do.
Well, I want to know a little bit more about that. Could you? Because I have a friend who's massively overweight and she could really use your support. So how would you work with her?
Wow, it sounds like you really care about her.
I do. I care about her a lot.
You've known her for a long time?
Yes, I have. She
Yeah.
happens to be part of my family.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, there's where your heart is, okay?
Yes.
I get it. I get it. Well, you know, I've been helping people for about 4 years do just that.
Could you tell me what you would suggest that she should do first?
Well, the best thing in the world would be to have a consultation with me to see if what I have to offer might be a fit for her.
Tell me something. You have a thriving business, right? What would you say is your biggest challenge that you have in your business?
You know, it's kind of hard to say because since you deal with each person as an individual, you have to like kind of jump into their world and find out what is right for them and what they really want. And are they motivated to make a change? Do they want to transform their life? You know, and sometimes we have to dig really deep to find out what their motivation is, because that's kind of where it all stems from, the desire to transform.
Oh, okay. So you really have to bring out the desire in them first before you can actually work with them.
Right.
And do you ever have a challenge with the words that you use when you do that?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because language is everything, right?
Right.
I forget who said the quality of your life is going to be the quality of your communication.
And have you ever really sat down and done interviews with potential clients to find out what their words and phrases are?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you use those words and phrases.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
She's ahead of the crowd. Most people would say, no, I haven't. How many of you have sat down and done interviews to find out what people's words and phrases are? 1, 2, 3. If she said, I have a really hard time with that because sometimes they don't understand me, then I would say to her, well, you know, we are in a busy networking group right now. I would love to follow up with you. If I could just get your card, I'll give you a call. Could I reach out to you next week?
Sure, awesome. Yeah, because part of it is about building their dreams, helping them build their dreams, and you really have to take in what they're saying to help them. And that's probably the biggest challenge, is helping
Building
them
their dreams.
create their dreams. Because everybody, you know, they pretty much forget how to dream after they reach the age of 7.
Perfect. Got it. I love it. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm always up for learning more about that.
So how does Wednesday work for you?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. I'll give you a call on Wednesday, and I'll send you a little email first,
I love
okay?
it.
Awesome. We'll
Awesome.
talk then.
Woo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Very
welcome.
appreciate that. Do you see how that went? All of it was about her, wasn't it? None of it was about me. And in our busy networking groups, we don't have a lot of time, because then she's trying to tell us to get back in our seats, and we're like, oh, I didn't finish that conversation. But if you knew how to do this step 1, you could get to maybe 3 people in the room. Then, here's the trick. You write on the back of their card what you discussed. Because I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten to write on the back of the card what we discussed. And then I don't know what to say on Wednesday. So you've got to make sure that you put that down. That's really, really important. And so practice active listening. That's number 2. If I didn't listen to her, then I wouldn't know what to talk to her about. If you practice active listening, you'll also never, ever experience rejection, because they will lead you down the path of what their needs are. And if you're providing what they need, you don't have any rejection, do you? If you can't provide what they need, guess what? They're a referral to somebody else that you know. I don't like to teach all this techie stuff, but Katrina does. So if I was talking to somebody and they said, oh, what I really need is all this techie stuff. I don't know how to build these funnels, and I don't know how to do, I'd say, oh, I got this great woman that I absolutely adore, and she'll do a fabulous job at helping you do that. Is Katrina going to love me for doing that?
Yep.
You bet, right? And she'll think of me too as a result of it when somebody needs to have massive visibility or they have challenges with their sales. So that's how we all work back and forth, is with active listening. And then the next thing is to use your client's words and phrases. When I said to you, do you ever have a challenge with going to networking groups and you end up not making any money? Everyone said that when I did the interview. I spent about 3 years developing this process. That's what I found out with my people. They didn't like rejection. They don't like to ask for money. There's all kinds of challenges that people have around sales. Here's another thing. Did you notice when I was talking to her, I had an open body language? I wasn't crossing my arms like this. I wasn't standing like this. I wasn't turned away from her. Connect with your heart. Men really do this with women. That's really important because everybody has a trust issue. Would you agree? It's all about building trust. So if you have an open body language and you're really focused on what they have to say, then you can connect with your heart. That's what heartfelt selling is. Think about the client before yourself. You are last, my friends, when you are selling. You have to be last. It's not about what you want. It's not like the kids that run around in Toys R Us. It's all about your client and nothing else. If you didn't stand there and actually use your active listening skills so that you could write something down on the back of the card, you were thinking about yourself. Here's what happens to us though. When we're out in this networking field, then we get, somebody says, remember how she said to me, I'd like to know what you do. And I turned it back around on her, didn't I?
You're like a politician. You didn't answer the
I
question.
didn't answer the question. Absolutely, I didn't answer the question purposely. Because my turn is in the second meeting. My turn is on Zoom or when we have coffee together. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to say, okay, let's have tea together. You are all about the second one, because after you get to that second level, you're going to say, you know, I remember that you mentioned the biggest problem that people have is trying to get them to understand that they really need this help, right? Isn't that what she told me? So what do you do to get them to understand that they do need it? Because everybody thinks they're perfect until they realize they're not. That's the reality.
Everybody thinks they're not good enough till they realize they're fabulous.
Well, but a lot of people are the other way around. And it depends on your target market, your well-defined target market. Can I use you as an example, Dot?
Sure.
Okay, so Dot was interviewing her people, and she's all about the modern day medicine woman, right? So she's about having good health and making sure that your energy is in good shape and making money flow into your home with clutter clearing and all that. Well, she found out that the people she was targeting didn't want anything to do with health. They weren't interested in health. So here she is marketing people that don't want what she has. We really need to focus on the needs of our clients. Here's another good one. I had a client who talks all about bliss. And she did this beautiful book, and she paid a fortune to be on TV shows and on radio, and she was on the circuit, so to speak. And then she found out that nobody likes a titty pink book. They didn't like it, so they wouldn't buy it. Right? If she had asked, I'm sorry, but that's the reality. That's why you guys are asleep. It took you a while.
You had to make sure you said what you said.
I said, remember, you're all my friends in here now. Yeah. So she was doing all this marketing, couldn't sell this doggone book, and that's why. They didn't like the color. How simple is that? So all she had to do is change the color of her cover, and then it would sell. How ridiculous.